So this video here is to help landscape designers using SketchUp be able to put in a soldier course banding around a curved patio. I think most people understand that if you, let's say you had an 8-inch soldier course in a straight line, it's pretty straightforward and easy to apply that in SketchUp. So this is the paver that we're going to use for the soldier course. You have to use a stacked texture. I do recommend using architectures for SketchUp if you're going to be wanting to get that look. You can find this in the SketchUp warehouse in some occasions, but not always. So if we went to brick, you could literally choose any of these, just edit, go from stretcher, the pattern, to stack here, and that lines everything up, and then you can go ahead and import that, and that'll be your material. Since I already have this, I don't really need that. But let's say you were to apply that to this location. So we'll grab this, and we're going to put it on a straight line. Now, that's obviously not what we want. We want this to be a soldier course. There's two ways to do this. You could click the face, right click, and then you can click on texture, position. You scroll out a little bit, you've got this little drag pin. You can turn it, and then you can kind of adjust the sizing as well. It's a little harder to get that perfect, but that's how I would do it on a straight line. Hit spacebar or enter. You can kind of adjust it a little bit more, position, and then get that right there. Hit spacebar to kind of close that, click outside, and then you can group it if you want, do what you want to do with it. But the hard part is to do that on a curved path. So let's just show you how to do that. So before we begin on everything, I just want to show a couple things that are important to have for the extension warehouse. Weld is an important tool when the lines, you're going to have different lines here. So like this line, this line, this line, you want to weld all these together. But I'll show you that in just a second. Architectures, that's that plugin right here that can give you different patterns for materials. It's an awesome plugin. From the sketchucation.com site, these are the other plugins that you would probably need for this particular project. It's the Sketch UV plugin, which is specifically the path select tool, which is right here. This is what that looks like. I really only use it for the path select right here tool, and that just kind of makes it easy to grab certain areas, and I select that. That's my first path. You can right click that, weld it, do what you want, but sometimes you need to be able to grab certain areas of a path, and that's an awesome tool for that. Put that back up here. libfredo 6, that's just the library. Fredo is a developer, I think from France, and he has done some really amazing plugins. I recommend his entire library personally. Fredo 6 is what it's called. This is what it looks like, Fredo tools. One in particular is ThroughPaint, and this is a really great tool here to painting textures. So if you're not familiar with this, definitely get familiar with ThroughPaint. It's my daily go-to for plugins. I'm going to close out of that. And then the other one that he came out with is called Curviloft. And this is right here. It's Curviloft by Spline. I think this is a Fredo. Maybe it's by somebody different. I could be wrong. But you do have to pay, I think it's $15 for this one, but it's a permanent license. And I'm almost 100% sure it is Fredo who built this one, but it's an awesome tool. And I'm just kind of getting used to doing this now because I've had some issues for years trying to get banding on curved patios. So what I'm going to do here is just offset these lines. So I use shortcut keys often. So this is offset. So if I hit the F button, and I'll just go over here, I'm going to offset it by 8 inches. So you've got this line work done. We do have one straight area here where I'm actually going to delete that out and work that in another way. But what I'm going to do for this spacing, I'll just do that. And I'll do some line work here, close that. We'll leave that alone. The rest of it can get deleted. And then I'll delete this little line here. We want to go ahead and weld these lines here. Now, if you were in a model and for some reason maybe you exploded the line, sometimes it's just going to give you these little bitty tiny segments all the way around, and you have to you can't, it's just unreasonable to try to select every single one of them. So that's where that path select tool comes in handy. So you can just grab it like this, go all the way through. You can kind of see right now it's actually broken them down in just a little bit. So come all the way through here and close it. Right click, just hit weld, and that'll be one solid line all the way around. And then the same for this one. This one hasn't been exploded or anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and select these. Actually, you can just double click in here, turn that off, close that, and then I'm just going to go ahead, make sure you're hovering over that line, right click, hit weld edges. And again, I don't know if SketchUp natively puts that weld feature in. This is a 2023 version. I think they might, but if they don't, certainly an extension called weld is what you're going to want to get from the extension warehouse, which is right here, weld, and I think that's it right there. Okay, so now we've got both of our lines selected. We're going to select both lines here. I'm going to go to that Curveloft tool by Spline, and we're going to go ahead and select that. And as you can see, it's gone all the way around and given us kind of like a hidden geometry. So if we kind of zoom in, you can kind of see what's going on. Now, sometimes what happens is these lines get really skewed. You might see a line right here that's like way over this way. All you're going to want to do is just take that line and just kind of move it back while you're in this mode. As you can see, I've kind of messed it up already. There, but that's kind of working now. That's kind of made this kind of screwy. See if we can get that straight. So that's good. And the idea here is you want to just make this perpendicular. These lines need to be perpendicular with like the outside edge perimeter lines as much as possible. So we're going to go through here, just kind of look around. And again, this is a new tool for me, so I'm not 100% familiar how it completely works. But so far, so good. It looks pretty good in my opinion. So what I would do from this point would be go ahead and just hit enter. So we're going to turn that off. You can see that it reversed the face. So what I'm going to do now is hit spacebar. I'm going to click in here. It's a group. And I'm going to reverse the face just for good drawing etiquette. And then I'm going to grab my paintbrush tool bucket. Go ahead and select the stack that we want. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go ahead and get into this face, still a group, and I'm going to click the shortcut for my through paint, which is right here again. I just have like a little shortcut button on my computer. So I'm going to hit that, and you can kind of see here that we've got like a line coming through here, like the red line is on a horizontal plane coming off of these perimeter edges. You want to make sure that the UV paint button is not on this one, but it's going to be selected on this one here. And just go ahead and click right inside here and then hit enter, hit spacebar, close that out. And as you can see, it goes all the way around and does a pretty good job of giving us that soldier course banding. Now, the curves that I made on these perimeter lines were pretty choppy. So basically what I did for this one was I just did my arc tool and I just went right through here and just kind of did this. So it gave us a lot of segments. You can change that too. So if you just took your arc tool, before you even do anything with it, so it says sides right down here. Let's just call it, say like 36. Say give it 36 segments. So wherever we go on that, that's that. You can see it's a lot smoother now. And that would make this a little bit better looking. So there's that. Then in the straight areas, I find it's hard that it doesn't do a good job of going from curve to straight. So what I just suggest is just to cut that off and make it its own thing right here. Grab your stack and just use your regular tool here, through paint again. But instead of keeping it on the UV painting, you got to change it back to this one here, natural UV. And then again, find you see the crossbar right there with the red and the green. So make sure that it's parallel to the perimeter line, and just go ahead and right click that or left click that, hit space bar. And then sometimes for good measure, if you need to kind of adjust things, what I do is I'll just use the texture button here. It's sometimes a little easier. Maybe we want to put a little bit of a joint right on that point. You know, again, you can even make that a little smaller if you wanted to, but that all works. And then what I would probably end up doing is just exploding this area too. So now at least you've got everything kind of lined up here, and you can go ahead and fill in the inside, and that's it. So anyway, this has been a challenge for me for years, and I hope this can help other landscapers, and this could work for other things, applications too. This is what I primarily need it for, and this is good enough for me. I mean, I don't need anything much better than this. I know there's better ways to do this that are confusing. I think this seems to be pretty easy, so hopefully this will help. All right, thanks guys. Bye.